Welcome back to Mailbag Monday, the series where I open the mail. And I also enjoy a beer while I'm doing it, such as this amber ale from Rebellion Brewing Company in Regina, Saskatchewan. Very basic tasting notes. They just describe it as citrus, toasty, caramel, and delicious. Made with absolutely standard beer ingredients, barley hops, water, and yeast, and no other weirdness. Excellent. We'll start off today's mailbag with something that was sent to me by an anonymous donor. It is a couple of pieces of prototyping circuit board. You always use them, and since they are consumable, it's not a bad idea to get some extras. Thank you, whoever sent those. As always, when I don't know exactly where something's come from, I will just link you to a search link that finds exactly what it was and several similar things as well. Off to a decent start. Let's see what this next one is. This is something that I ordered. Wow, I broke my blade. That doesn't happen very often. Well, that's fortunate that I was able to find it. I didn't want to be groping around in my pile of things here and find that the hard way. Anyway, what's in the package? It's like two 3.5 millimeter stereo male-to-male cables. 1.5 meters long each. Okay. Those are handy things to have around, and when I was experimenting with some audio stuff a month or so ago, I realized that I only had one of these kicking around and that it was intermittent and nasty, so I bought a couple more. Actually, I bought 3 of them for a total of $11.97 for 3 of them, plus taxes and stuff, but I only got 2 here. Oh, that's from the same seller. Wonder if they shipped the third one in a separate package. Yes, they did. Why would you do that? Maybe just to keep under the postage limit for weight? Anyway, yeah, I got these for $4.59 Canadian each, free shipping, and as you can see, I did actually buy 3 of them, and the 3 of them showed up. Nothing particularly special about them. Male-to-male audio cable, 6 feet, 3.5 millimeter stereo plugs on both ends. Next in we have, well, it calls itself Fast Charge Decoy Trigger. Oh, that cuts like, a knife. What do we have in here? And is it what the package describes? We have 3 of them. They look like they've got a USB-C connector on them. It has PD/QC on the back of it. Positive and minus voltage there. USB-C connector there. Handful of components. A little 6-pin chip, MELF diode, solder blob, a few other components. Oh, so we have the positive and negative outputs there. And then we have just pads that can be solder jumpered to these resistors for programming that chip to various different voltages. So this particular one comes from the factory strap for 12 volts. You could also choose 9, 15, or 20 volts out of the power delivery standard. Well, that's pretty cool, and I've got 3 of them. PD/QC decoy board, fast charge USB boost module, Type-C, PD2, 3, 9, 12, 15, and 20 volt fast charge trigger polling detector module. Well, that's a mouthful. These cost me a whole 79 cents each plus $1.78 shipping, so presumably that's why I ordered 3 of them to take advantage of the shipping. It claims to be able to support up to 5 amps out of a Type-C power supply. Sure. Supports PD 3.0, 2.0, PPS or QC4+, QC 3.0, 2.0, FCP and AFC power protocols. Trick out the voltage of the fast charging charger charging treasure and use it as a DC power supply, for example. Fix the 4 gears of 9, 12, 15, or 20 volts. All right, get all the gears going. Cool. Okay, well, this is useful information, I guess. Not that it's a surprise, but if you set the decoy to 20 volts, but your charger's only up to 9 volts, it will automatically downshift to deceive the output to 9 volts. Dodgy translation, slightly entertaining, but that is still useful if true information. Well, this is going well, minus the broken knife. Here is, what does this say? It doesn't say. Right. I guess that's because it came through a Canadian reshipping warehouse. Oh, whole bunch of things. There's 6 pieces, and we have, an XLR connector. Oh, okay, so we got 3 male and 3 female XLR connectors. These are, of course, non-branded, but there is a standard, and they look like they at least conform to the shape of the standard. They also appear to be a complete rip-off of Neutrik or Neutrik, depending on what country your pronunciation comes from. But they seem like they will do the job. At least I wouldn't maybe trust them professionally, but that's not what's happening in my basement. And unplug socket, male-female microphone audio XLR connector, 3P, 4P, 5P contact. I got the 3-pin male and female versions. The male ones cost $2.48. The female ones were $2.56. They claim to have silver-plated contacts, and they sell them in 3, 4, or 5-pin variants. So just for comparison, here's the 2 of the ones that I just got, and here is some actual Neutrik branded ones. These are from their NC MX series. What can I tell? The metal is significantly heavier on the Neutrik one. Thicker, a little bit longer barrel. That doesn't really matter too much. On the female side, yeah, same thing. This guy is significantly heavier, so probably better quality metal. From the contacts, not seeing a lot different. They would probably work in each other's shell. The spring for the locking tab is a little bit firmer metal, more springiness on the Neutrik one. And on the male one, the plastic insulator and holder of the pins is a little bit thicker on the real one. And of course on these guys, this is a lot thicker and stronger and more robust. So, I mean, you're getting what you're paying for. I would never take these things out on the road or to a professional gig or anything, but just for knocking around down here in the basement, screwing around, it's perfectly adequate. And the last and largest packaging, although not the heaviest this time, is from another anonymous donor to my P.O. box. It is a bunch of little modules. So there's 5 of them in each package, and they call themselves 8-bit LED bar. Oh, I've seen things like this before. Okay, so we have 8 LEDs, 2 resistor arrays, presumably 4 resistors in each one, feeding to 4 LEDs each. Common connection there, and 8 more pins. So these, I believe, are for plugging into Arduinos and just getting LED status out of them. Well, these weren't too hard to find on eBay, especially since there was a part number on the board. These are 3 to 24 volt 8-bit blue or red LED bar indicator. Oh, okay. Looks like varying prices in the $4-ish range. So initially, I thought these were intended to plug straight onto the header of, for instance, an Arduino Uno, but no, they're not, because there isn't 8 GPIOs directly connected beside the ground pin. There's only 6 of them, and then there's that funky Arduino gap there. So that won't work, but they will fit on a breadboard nicely, and if you want to see a bunch of GPIO states, you can just connect them up to whatever GPIOs you want. Although I noticed the listing does suggest that it will work with a Pi, so I wonder if it'll line up with a Pi Pico. And that answer is sort of. There's a ground there, and then there's some 4 GPIOs, but then there's another ground and more GPIO and a ground. So it would pick up some of those, but still, it wouldn't connect directly to it and use everything. So I think this is still probably the best application of it. I also noticed on the website that there were red and blue ones, and there were common VCC and common ground. And indeed, the 4 sets I got red common VCC, red common ground, blue common VCC, and blue common ground. So that's the full set from my anonymous donor. Thank you, sir or ma'am, but given my channel's demographics, probably sir. These, I think, are going to be cool for when I'm just experimenting on breadboards and stuff and I don't feel like reaching for things like this and jamming those into the board, which is, of course, just a resistor and an LED heat shrink together. But if I needed 8 of them or 16 of them, this is a much cleaner way of doing it. Oh wait, I did find one application where they will go straight onto the board. They will fit onto pins, what is that, 38 to 53 plus ground on a Mega, except when you do that, it blocks some pins, some other pins, but they will work directly on there if you want to throw it on just as a quick, compact test. And there is the contents of today's Mailbag Monday haul. Quite the variety once again, including a couple of surprises. So the things that I ordered, we have these 6-foot, aka 1.5 meter, male-to-male audio cables, just for useful around here for connecting audio projects up and more reliable than the janky old one that I had. Some XLR connectors for, again, microphones mostly, and I guess also the non-standard, non-compliant DMX applications. Donation from an anonymous donor, a couple of pieces of perf board, always useful around here. I've got several of them in different sizes that I use quite regularly for projects, and it's always good to have more consumables. And there's these little power delivery boards, USB-C, and it can put out any of the 4 possible, any of the 4 above 5 volt power delivery voltages. So those will come in handy. I've got a couple of other variants on this, but I think this one will be quite useful when I need to get different voltages just for random usage, and especially at the really cheap price I got them at. And then there's all these LED boards, 5 each of the 4 different varieties. Thank you so much again to whoever the anonymous donor is that sent those in. Those are pretty cool, and as I said, I can see them being quite useful just for prototyping and tinkering on breadboards. This is great. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks as always to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube channel members. Thanks once again to the anonymous donors who sent these things in, and just everybody who supports these mailbag videos and all the videos I do. I really do appreciate it. Questions and comments down below as usual. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.